And we are back on Sportsman Radio. I'm your host, Chris Shanafel, and I am now joined by former NFL running back, I should say NFL and CFL running back. He is the son of former NFL great running back for the Chicago Bears, Walter Payton. He is the host of the Jarrett Payton radio show on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to welcome Mr. Jarrett Payton onto Sportsman Radio. How's it going, Jarrett?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Can't complain. Just watching a little Sports Center right now, as always. It stays on in my house, so I'm just checking up on everything that's been going on the last couple of days. And a lot of sports going on, man.
Yeah, man. I actually want to talk a little bit about the Chicago Bears and the season they had. Does that sound good to you?
No, I'm definitely down with that.
All right, they started the season 7-1, finished the season 3-5, finishing the whole season 10-6, and of course missed the playoffs with the Vikings victory over the Green Bay Packers in Week 17. Honestly, to me, this season was a disappointment for the Chicago Bears. Myself being a Chicago Bears fan, they started the season so well, and for the second year in a row, they went downward in the second half of the season. Battled a lot of injuries, and they didn't make the playoffs for the second season in a row. I don't even know. About second season in a row. Jared, what were your thoughts on the Chicago Bears season? The 2012 Chicago Bears season. Sorry.
It's very disappointing to kind of see how, like you said, they started off so great, and it seemed like it was going to be that year, but then you also have to look at, teams that they played in that first half of the season until they, really got to the true test, which was against the Texans. I mean, you have teams that you're looking at. You look at the Cowboys, the Jaguars, Titans, Panthers, and then they get to that Texans game, and you really start to see that part of the schedule is where things start to get a little heavy. It was that week and then the next week against the 49ers, and two playoff teams, and where do you stack up? And I think that the real test was when they came against the 49ers to kind of see where you are, where this team was, and that's where that downward spiral started happening. And like you said, injuries are a huge thing, and I think when injuries, the one thing about, making a run to the playoffs and for a championship, you have to be fairly healthy. And you look at even that year that they lost to the Green Bay Packers, the NFC Championship game, I mean, that year they were very blessed to not have a bunch of injuries, especially injuries to key players. And then this year, luck just wasn't on the Bears' side, and there was a lot of injuries and injuries to key players, and you just kind of have to go from here. I think with Phil Emery being at the helm and his new regime coming through, you really see that they have an opportunity now to see what is really wrong with this new head coach coming in and picking the right coach, but then also, too, figuring out, where they need to go from here, because there's a great core group of guys on this team that can get the job done. A lot of people feel like time is running out, especially on that defensive side of the ball, but offensively, they have all the tools. It's really trying to put the pieces around Jay Cutler to really make him successful.
You mentioned the Bears bringing in a new head coach. After a 10-6 season, the Chicago Bears fired head coach Lovie Smith after 9 years with the Bears on New Year's Eve on Black Monday. Were you surprised by the firing, and do you agree with it?
I was not surprised by the firing at all. I mean, I don't know where you win 10 games in a season and then get the can, but this is professional football, and it's not a game, not just a game, it's a business, and a lot of people don't really understand the business side of things. I'm a big fan of Lovie. I really like what he meant to the city, and talking to guys on the team, they really like him too because he was a player's coach. But then I also see from the side of management why they felt like they had to make a change. And I don't know if it's right or wrong. My loyalty is just really to the Chicago Bears and being a Chicago Bears fan that, sometimes I feel like I can have a say so and I can say how I feel, but then I also have to kind of trust the management and lead us in the right direction and put the pieces together and the coaching staff together to be able to be successful, because it's been a long time. 85 is a long time since we had a championship, and Bears fans are waiting here.
Mm-hmm. What are some things you think the Bears need to work on to make it to just the playoffs next season?
You definitely need to get an offensive line. They need to shore up that offensive line and make sure that they, I think you do it, you can just build through the draft, but also maybe free agency and, really try to figure out a good core group and a nucleus that can protect Jay, because that's the one thing I saw this year is him being flustered a lot and making plays, but making plays with his feet all the time on the move and not really being able to set his feet in the pocket. And I think how much deadlier he could be as a quarterback if he could sit back and have a pocket like some of these other pocket passers that we see in the league of, the Tom Brady's and the Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees, who can sit back and kind of pick teams apart, because there are weapons around him right now offensively to do that. But I think it starts with that offensive line, not just for pass protection, but also in the run game, because that's what I feel is Bears' offense has been based on since I've been here, because of the weather in the Midwest. And, watching my dad play, it was always really run the ball, and then play action pass. And so that's what it's kind of based on. We need to be able to run the ball, too, and be successful running the ball, because then that will open up the pass. I don't know, defensively, it kind of all depends on the Urlacher factor. Is he here next year? Is he not here? If not, then you have to start thinking about the future. You need another middle linebacker. Defensively, I just really think I don't know if they need so much. Maybe adding in another corner, a young corner, just to be able to learn from a guy like Peanut Tillman, learn from Jennings. Just to kind of, as the years go on, because you already know what's going to happen. You can't play forever. Someone's got to be able to step up. So I think corner could be definitely an issue. I believe that there needs to be a look at a tight end somewhere, because of the way that the evolution of the game is going now, from being that passing reach. Got to be able to have a tight end that can get in and make plays and take care of that middle of the field. And that would be the first thing that other than offensive line, I know people want to get offensive linemen in the draft, but if a guy like Tyler Eifert's there somewhere in the first round and you have an opportunity to get him, I wouldn't pass up on him.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Jarrett, you played running back. As we know, your father played running back. What are your thoughts on Chicago Bears starting running back Matt Forte?
I really like Matt. I think Matt he's an old-fashioned type running back in the sense of he can do everything that you need him to do. And I think that's where, getting this new coach and having an offensive scheme and really figuring out how you can utilize Matt Forte, because when you look at 2 years ago, what he meant to the offense, and even this year getting over 1,000 yards, but how big he was two years ago in the offense. There's so many things you can do with him, and I think that's what makes him so special. That he's versatile. You can put him in the slot. You can run him out of the backfield, and he's a mismatch problem when it comes to like a linebacker. You put him over a linebacker, most linebackers can't really cover that well. And covering him, he can run routes like a wide receiver, and I think he's one of those guys that he's just kind of scratching the surface of his potential, and that he can only get better as his offense gets better. But if it was me, I would kind of build the offense to make sure he was a big part of that offense, whether it was running the ball or catching the ball out of the backfield.
You guys are listening to Sportsman Radio. I'm your host, Chris Schanfeld, and we are talking to Jarrett Payton. Jarrett, I just have a few fun personal questions for you, and then I want to talk a little bit about your show, the Jarrett Payton Show. Does that sound good?
Yep, that's cool.
All right, Jarrett, what is your favorite TV show and movie?
Favorite TV show of all time? It's a tie between Martin and 24.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Oh, let's see. Scarface.
Favorite thing to eat?
Favorite thing to eat? I'm on a diet right now, so everything I can think of, like cake, but Reese's peanut butter cups.
Jarrett, I know you have your own Twitter account, @PaytonSon. Why do you make it important to connect with your fans?
Just because it's this day and age now that we can reach around the world, and for me, it just makes sense to be able to chat with people because people want to know more about you. And for me, the biggest thing is just motivating people to do great things and to be great and, really just like maximize all your potential. Because I think sometimes, not everybody has people telling them that they're great and that they can do great things. But, I was blessed to grow up and have my dad and my mom do that to me. And, now having a son, I'm pushing him every single day that he gets older just to be a great person, be a great father, be a great husband, be a great friend, and just make a difference. And so for me, Twitter has been able to, and social media has been able to, touch the world. And I got people and fans all over the place, which is pretty exciting.
If you could meet any famous person, who would it be and why?
Any famous person? I'm hopefully going to meet him soon, but I'd probably have to meet Dale Jr. I'm a big NASCAR fan, so I definitely would want to meet Dale just because I think there's only a half few of people who probably know what he goes through and how his life is, and I think that I'm one of them of having a famous dad play a sport and be one, if not the greatest at it, and then you follow those footsteps and you do the same thing. It's not easy, and so I definitely would love to meet him, say hello to him, just because I think he's my favorite driver, and I think he's pretty cool too. He's got a cool house, where he drives cars and stuff.
And last but not least, what is something about Jarrett Payton that many people do not know about?
I don't think a lot of people knew that I was a soccer player. If you live in Illinois, you probably know, but a lot of people don't know that I was a stud soccer player. Probably better soccer player than I was football player, so kind of crazy.
Why did you decide to, pursue in a career in football besides soccer?
It was just inevitable. It was something I just had to try. Once I got tried, I got hooked. It was just one of those things. You try it, you play the game, and it's really, it just pushes you. Football is one of those sports, and it's a great team sport, and I just learned a lot from playing the game of football that has got to transition over into my everyday life.
All right, JP, you have your own radio show called The Jarrett Payton Show. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, JarrettPaytonShow.com or ChicagoLandSportsRadio.com. Tune in 10 a.m. Then we talk the real deal of sports life and everything in between. So you kind of get it in. Me and my man Sean M. Davis Swan on Twitter, and then my boy Ryan Blazin on Twitter. We just kind of go at it, and we talk sports, and we bring on people, and that's what it's all about. Doing what you're doing, just trying to give people what's going on in sports and just what's going on in our communities too, and be that outlet where people can kind of sit back for 2 hours and just laugh and joke, and they can call in and talk trash if they want to. That's what we accept that.
What made you want to start your own radio show?
I've always loved radio. I don't know what it really was. It's doing interviews, I guess, was one of those things. And I never hosted my own show. I didn't go to school for any of this. But the last over 2 years, I just kind of learned how to really be on radio and same thing that you're doing, conduct interviews and bringing on guests and booking guests. I mean, it's a lot. People only just sit back and they hear, what's going on the internet or, terrestrial radio shows, but I don't know if they understand the grind that, goes through, what you're doing. You're going out trying to get people to come on and but you do it for your fans, you do it for the people that are listening.
Well, Jarrett, I really appreciate your time, man. It was great to have you on. Hopefully I could have you on again later on in the future. Before I let you go, is there anything else you'd like to plug on the air? I know you have your own beer. I know you have JarrettPayton.com. Why don't you tell us all about it, man?
So go to JarrettPayton.com. You can check out what's going on with everything, all of the social media sites. That's like JarrettPayton.com is probably like the coolest social media website because it's got everything on there. It's got my Twitter, my Facebook, whatever you need, you can check out there. And then Jarrett Payton's All-American Wheat Ale was launched in March, and so it's only available in Illinois, but hopefully people can check it out. If you want some, go to Benny's, ask them for it. I know they got it there. So it's a great wheat ale, and it's great beer for Chicago Bears fans and drink while they tailgate.
All right, Jarrett, thanks again, and take care, man.
No problem, man. Take care.